Hello class 9. Welcome to history lecture. Today we will start chapter 2, which is revolutionary ideas, rise of Napoleon and the ideas of nationalism. In this chapter, in today's lesson, we will cover up early life of Napoleon, and also we will see the how Napoleon rose to power, that is the rise of Napoleon. So we'll start our chapter. There we will see that Napoleon was born on 15th August 1769 in Ajaccio in the island of Corsica. We should know that Corsica was actually under Italian control. Corsica was an island in Italy, but just few years before Napoleon's birth, Corsica was taken away by the French government. As Corsica was annexed, it came under the French government. Now, Napoleon Bonaparte, from his childhood, he dreamed that he will give Corsica a free status. He wanted to free his birthplace, Corsica, from the fetters of French government. So from the beginning, he had hostility towards the French government. At 9 years of age, he joined the military school, and from then on, he had dreamed that he will free Corsica one day. As he grew up, he had joined the French army with the dream that he will give freedom to the Corsican island. But during the time of revolution, the National Convention gave an important status to the Corsican island. The National Convention put Corsica with the same status as that of other parts of France. So as Corsica was given an important status by the French government, Napoleon gave up his hostilities towards the French government and he started serving the French government as an army, as a military. Now we'll see that this is basically the early life of Napoleon. We should remember that he was an emperor ruler who is very famous as a military man. He joined the military at 9 years of age. Next, we'll see how Napoleon gradually rose to power. He was from an eminent family in Italy, but he joined the French army as during his birth, Corsica, his birthplace, was under the French government. So he joined the French army and he started serving the French army commander. Now see that you have read about the French Revolution in the last chapter, and we have seen that the ideals of the French Revolution was liberty, equality and fraternity. And Napoleon also started propagating these three ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity, and this French Revolution gave him an important position. Thus Napoleon called himself the child of revolution. You should keep this in mind that Napoleon is regarded as the child of revolution. Why he is regarded as a child of revolution? Because it is the French Revolution which gave him the position or which gave him the power that he could rise or he could progress in his career as an army man, as an army commander. So Napoleon called himself the child of revolution, and he also said that I am the revolution. And when he came to power, he said that the revolution is terminated. So we'll see later on, we'll see his reforms, but for now we'll see that he himself was known as the child of revolution, and this French Revolution gave him an important status in the French army. Now we'll see rise of Napoleon to power. Rise of Napoleon, first we will start with 1793. This is an important date in the history of France or in the history of life of Napoleon. There we see in 1793 CE, Napoleon drove out the British from the port of Toulon. That is expulsion of British from the port of Toulon. Now British or Britain was a very strong force that we know. So as Napoleon could drive out the British from the port of Toulon, it was a great victory and a great success for Napoleon. and it was in 1793. It was the first military success of Napoleon Bonaparte. So we should remember this date as the first military success of Napoleon Bonaparte. As a result of this, what happened in 1796, as he could drive out the British in 1796, he was given an important position in the French army. That is, he was given the role of the army commander. He was appointed commander of army in his Italian campaign. So the French-Italian campaign was going on during this time, where Napoleon was appointed as the commander of army. So he was given a higher position because of his success in 1793. Now we will go back to 1795, which was also an important landmark in the career of Napoleon. There we will see the important date is 5th October 1795. There what happened? France was under the rule of the Directory, because we see that the National Constituent Assembly framed a constitution, and this constitution was known as the Directory. This rule of this constitution was known as the Directory, and from 1795 to 1799 France was under the control of Directory. Mind the date, 1795 to 1799. During this period, France was under the Directory. Now during this period, the National Constituent Assembly was in power, and we see that on this day, that is in 5th October 1795, Napoleon saved the National Constituent Assembly. That is, a rowdy Parisian mob attacked the National Convention, and Napoleon used his army to save the National Convention. So on 5th October 1935 is known as the incident of 13th Vendémiaire. This incident is known as the incident of 13th Vendémiaire, which is very important in the history of France or in the history of Napoleon. This incident, like 5th October in English calendar, is 13th Vendémiaire in the French Revolutionary calendar. So this date is very important. What happened is Napoleon saved the National Convention from the attack of the rowdy Parisian mob. A rowdy Parisian mob, or rowdy mob of Paris, was trying to attack and bring about the fall of the National Constituent Assembly, and Napoleon used his army to save the National Constituent Assembly. Thus, he proved himself as a friend of law and order. He restored law and order in France. Due to this, we see that this date is very important in the history of France, also in the life of Napoleon Bonaparte. Next incident that we will see is on 1796, that we have already seen that he was appointed the commander of the army in the Italian campaign. Next we will go to 1797. Another important event that led to the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte is the defeat of Austria. So during these times, the Austria, Britain, Sardinia, Prussia, these countries were all against France, and Napoleon Bonaparte used his power to defeat these countries, or the coalition which was formed against France. As he could defeat the coalition against France, he also gained immense popularity among the people of France. Now you see that in 1797, Napoleon moved his force towards the towards Austria, and as he moved his force towards Austria, he could easily defeat Austria. After this defeat, Austria was forced to sign the Treaty of Campo Formio. Austria was defeated, so Austria was forced to sign the Treaty of Campo Formio. Now, 1798 is another landmark in the rise of Napoleon. He started his Egyptian expedition. he started his Egyptian expedition. However, we'll see that the Egyptian expedition is not that successful. First, he fought the Battle of Pyramid, which was a successful battle for Napoleon. He won the Battle of Pyramids, but after that, he faced defeat in the hands of British Admiral Nelson. In the Battle of Nile, Napoleon was completely defeated and Napoleonic armies were completely defeated by British Admiral Nelson. As he suffered a defeat in Egypt, he decided or planned to return to Paris. Though he suffered a defeat in Egypt, but the myth which was created about him as a war hero remained. And we see that in spite of the Egyptian defeat, Napoleon has one after another defeated many foreign powers who were coming against France. He has defeated many coalition which was formed against France. So due to this, Napoleon was regarded as a war hero in France. So Napoleon created a myth about himself as a war hero. And we see that the people of Paris wanted him as a leader. People of Paris or people of France wanted him to rule them so that he can restore law and order in France. So we see in 1799, another important incident took place, and this also helped Napoleon to restore power in his own hand, or to bring the entire power in his own hand. 1799 incident is known as the incident of 18th Brumaire. We have already read about the 13th Vendémiaire. Similarly, we will read about the 18th Brumaire. Brumaire is 9th November according to English calendar, and it is 18th Brumaire according to the French Revolutionary calendar. So what happened on these dates is that when Napoleon returned to Paris from Egypt in 1799, we have already read that from 1795 to 1799, France was under the rule of Directories. So during this time, when Napoleon returned in 1799, he saw that the Directory had become very unpopular. Taking advantage of this situation, Napoleon decided that he will take the power in his own hand. He now started gaining support of some of the directors, and he suddenly attacked the Directory with a military coup. Military coup means secret military attack, C-O-U-P, military coup, which means secret military attack, which brings about the fall of the government. So he brought about the fall of the directory during this time, and Napoleon himself acquired the entire power in his own hand. So incident of 18th Brumaire is also very important, like the incident of 13th Vendémiaire. On 18th Brumaire, we see that rule of the Directory came to an end and the rule of Napoleon started. So in 1799, as the rule of the Directory came to an end, Napoleon started a new system of administration. This system of administration came to be known as the Consulate. So rule of the Directory came to an end, Napoleon became the sole power, and the rule of the Consulate started. In the Consulate, we see there were 3 consuls who used to administer or rule in France. So among the 3 consuls, the most important and the most powerful, the first consul was Napoleon himself. So Napoleon himself became the first consulate general or first consul, and he started bringing about different reforms and different changes in the French administration. So we see that the legislative council was divided into 4 parts. One was to pass the bill, one was to discuss the bill, one was to decide what was the bill, and another was to discuss the constitutional justification or constitutional tenability of that bill. So the bill would be chalked out by one chamber, then it will be discussed by another chamber. The third chamber used to pass the bill, the fourth chamber used to decide or discuss whether constitutionally the bill was tenable or not. So these 4 chambers were there in the legislature, and as Napoleon was the first consul, he took this time to bring about many reforms and bring about many changes in the internal administration of France. And this rule of consulate continued till 1804. So thus we see Napoleon rose to power as the first consul of the French government. In next class we will decide about the reforms of Napoleon and how these reforms were implemented in France. Thank you, class.